Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you guys by FiveMind.com. Well, folks, it continues. I was about to say that the dam is breaking, but I think at this point the dam is already broke, and that fissure that's been created, well, I think it's now structurally compromised. It's opened, and the water is pouring through. It's past the point of Democrats being able to come in and patch it up. No, this is a catastrophic failure in so many different ways. And of course, I know I've pretty much already made that point, but every day it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse, and today I've got 4 different examples, 4 different clips and moments to really show you just how bad things are getting for the Democrat angle here. Let's start off with Senator John Fetterman, who again is going after his own party. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So there's one point that I've been making a whole lot lately, and it's that Democrats have taken this extremely risky stance from a position of absolute weakness to make this hostage play when you don't even have full support from your own damn party starting from the very beginning. Obviously, that's not a great idea. And we know that the one Democrat who's never been with this agenda is John Fetterman. Well, he just spoke out, and let me tell you, it's not good.
Clearly, we've lost the argument, and right now, I think it's entirely appropriate to really be honest and just figure out why exactly have we effectively lost 2 out of the last 3 cycles, and a lot of the things we've really lost our connection with American voters in ways. And I think we can't just be, well, Trump is always wrong, or that we're going to set the country on fire or whatever. That's just not true either, of course. But, when I represent a state like Pennsylvania, that keeps you honest. And you always can't forget that a lot of Americans happen to disagree with you. That does not mean that they are fascists or now they want to shred the Constitution.
But one of the things that I hear from Democrats a lot saying a reason why voters may not like Democrats is because they don't fight hard enough. Democrats should be fighting harder. What do you say to folks who say that?
What exactly is fighting? What is fighting? Delay more votes, or just vote every no on everything, or saying, well, if they're doing X, well, then that means it's wrong, that kind of a thing. It's like, what exactly is fighting?
I'll give you an example. It could be shutting the government down. Like some Democrats say, if this happens, it'll be Trump's fault.
That's not fighting. That's mutilating our nation. If you vote to shut our government down, you are going to harm millions of Americans. And why would you do this? Where's our leverage? It was wrong.
Not only is he calling for his party to stop the shutdown, but he's calling for his party to cooperate and negotiate in good faith with President Trump. I mean, it's bad when top Democrats, high-profile Democrats, are basically saying exactly what we've been saying. He's pushing our rhetoric, which of course many people on the left will probably perceive him as, oh, he's a traitor to the party. He's basically MAGA now. He's a Republican. He's a white supremacist fascist. But no, he's right. He sees the writing on the wall. He's looking at this objectively. He's not looking at what we're saying and saying, oh, that's conservative MAGA rhetoric. He's actually listening to what we're saying, analyzing the words that we are uttering in respect to the facts, the polls, and then coming to a conclusion, realizing that actually, in a way, in our criticism of the left, we're giving them great advice. Yes, you people are insane. You've lost the plot. Your entire identity is just countering Trump instead of doing what's right for the country. And John Fetterman's not with that. He's maintained since day one. His intent, his priority, is to put country over party. And that's exactly what he's doing here. But Democrats can't get with that agenda. No, they are just digging their heels in. They refuse to look at any of this stuff objectively, to look at their own weak position and make a pivot, because to them, that's admitting defeat, and that's the worst thing that they could ever do, especially in the eyes of their radical leftist audience that they're totally captured by. And so instead, they just double down. And that's where things are getting really bad for them because, I think the mainstream media, which again isn't exactly MAGA, well, they're kind of seeing it more and more through our perspective, through our lens these days. And that's increasing the heat that Democrats are facing. And instead of taking a hint, getting a clue, the Democrats are doubling down, or they're lashing out. They're snapping. And of course, continuously moving the goalposts. I got this moment over here. Initially, we got Chuck Schumer being asked a question relating to SNAP payments and kind of an implication that Democrats might have to give up in this endeavor. And just look at his reaction.
Irrespective of the dispute on whether USDA contingency funds can be used for SNAP benefits.
It is not, wait a minute, excuse me. It is not a dispute. It is fact they can use it, and the Republicans say it.
Okay, but there's, only 5 or 6 billion, and it's not cost $8 billion monthly just to administer. I mean, if anything, it would only last.
It does not cost $5 or $6 billion to administer. There's enough money to start feeding people right away. $6 billion's a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? Yes.
What happens once it runs out? If it only lasts 2-3 weeks, do Democrats fold then?
The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
Are you saying Democrats have no responsibility for the fact that
We are saying the Republicans can fund it now, and they're using these people as hostages. Plain and simple. Next. That's the answer. The answer is they can fund it right now. Okay? Right now.
He just throws a damn tantrum, and then Amy Klobuchar comes in, and here's where the goalposts move. Right at first, Democrats were right. The polling data backed them up, and they were standing up for $1.5 trillion in spending that had to be reinstated. Then they went to, oh, actually, it's just the Obama subsidies. Then they went to, oh, we just want a $20 billion bailout. And now it's, oh, Epstein files. The most fringe, pathetic argument that really only clowns like Eric Swalwell were pushing in the early days. Well, now I guess this is what they're trying to mainstream.
The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, what's really happening here is that Republicans are shutting down the government because they don't want to release the Epstein files. Look, I know the Epstein thing has become kind of like a political football at this point, and if you mention Epstein, oh, you're a real edgelord. You're in tune with the deep conspiratorial stuff. Well, first of all, most people who are jumping on this whole Epstein thing are just using it as a political tool right now. If you really cared about the Epstein files and the scandal relating to it, you'd probably be on it from back in 2015, 2016, back when I was making documentaries on the whole subject. Nowadays, these people don't genuinely give a crap about any of that stuff. No, they just use it as a tagline, right? When in doubt, oh, my Epstein files. And obviously, what a dumb argument that is. Republicans are shutting down the government to stop the Epstein file release. How does that make any sense when Republicans, they are voting to open the government? It's Democrats that are blocking any votes from being able to hit the floor, from Congress getting back to be able to vote on something like that. I mean, just basic common sense, right? If the Republicans were so petrified of the Epstein files that clearly have nothing incriminating about the President of the United States, then why would they be fighting to reopen government? Make it make sense. You know, it's obvious that Democrats will just say anything to shift blame, to move the goalposts, to continue pushing their disgusting agenda. And that's really what's happening. And it's not a good look. Because now again, the mainstream media is pushing on these Dems, and they just look like deer caught in the headlights. It's nothing but dodging and twisting themselves into pretzels to continuously perpetuate these false narratives and justify this pathetic shutdown, like this moment.
All critique of shutdown is a tactic. It really is not something that's desirable.
You can vote.
But there is a real issue about health care.
You're almost conceding that you should not be shutting down the government, that the Democrats should not be doing that. And I don't think you'd ever say that extortion is the way that Republicans should get their way if they don't like the IRA or they don't like overspending or whatever it is. At any given point in time where the other party has a disagreement, this is not the way to do it. Are you ready to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government at this point as a reasonable Democrat? Maybe others would follow you.
I'm not there yet because we have had literally, Joe, no discussion whatsoever about how we're going to deal with these spikes in premiums. This is the right way to do it, Senator? By people not getting paychecks at the TSA? This is extortion. Well, that's why Senator Hawley and have our bill to make sure that folks get the nutrition that they absolutely need is why the president is paying the troops. But there is something that we've all got to acknowledge here. The administration has had an attack on health care, as we know it. The Medicaid cuts were immense. They're going to have real impacts on individuals, and they're going to have impacts on state budgets and community hospitals.
Or this moment with Jake Tapper.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their tactics.
The White House.
This is also, Congresswoman, this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to 3
children
weeks worth
to
of SNAP
have
funds.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me
it is
tell
a big
you
deal
that
to
for
me.
the grandparents, for grandparents
It is a big deal
that
to me.
literally are feeding their children,
My point
to
is that
not
it's a
have
short-term
money
solution.
in those accounts.
It's
it
a
doesn't
short-term.
matter. At the end of the day, people need to be able to feed their families, and Saturday is when those funds
If you
run
feel
out,
so
and we are
strongly,
fighting
Congresswoman,
to get
why
that
not
funding.
ask the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government so that the SNAP funds...
Sir, I am here in the House of Representatives. It is shut down. I am fighting to get the government reopened. I am fighting to get funding put back into SNAP that is already existent, and I am fighting for the American people. I am here. But show me a single Republican that is here. Not a single one is here to make sure that Americans are fed on Saturday. That is why I am here.
And I think one thing is clear. When even CNN, when Jake Tapper is done carrying your water, I mean, your talking points have expired. You are sour milk at that point. And that's exactly where we are. We're at the end of this optics war. Democrats made a severe miscalculation here, and now Republicans get to expose them. Democrats have put themselves in a very, very cruddy position here. They don't even have full unanimous support from their own voters, from their own politicians, from their own unions, and yet they continue to dig their heels in, and now it gives Republicans the position to be passing bills like this one.
If you didn't do your job in business, you didn't get paid. You don't show up and do your job, you don't get paid. Why are we getting paid? We shouldn't get paid if we don't do our job. We need to figure out how to work together to get our budgets done. It's as simple as that.
So you're going to offer legislation to not get paid during shutdowns?
Absolutely. I already have a bill. We've got a bill that we don't get paid during the shutdown. Ron Johnson's got a bill that will never have shutdowns. That should pass also. But on top of that, what are the Democrats doing? This is a clean resolution. All we're doing is keeping the funding. Actually, the funding is too high. It's still the Biden funding. But I don't want to shut down government, so I support it. But the Democrats, they want a shutdown for whatever reason. How is this good for the country? Nobody wins with a shutdown.
And you know, if that bill hits the floor, Democrats are going to vote against it. They're going to send a very clear message to the people. The rule's for thee, but not for me, right? Oh no, you don't get paid. You get shut down, but we continue to collect our paychecks. And that comes after them voting against paying essential workers in the federal government. And when Republicans are in that position to be able to force these votes and make Democrats look as heartless as they really are, well, you continue to lose the optics war. It's going to continue getting worse and worse for you. And that is truly where I believe we're headed. The Democrats lost, and they're not accepting it. They refuse to accept reality. And the longer you let that go on, the worse you look, the worse it gets. But it seems like the Democrat strategy here is to simply galvanize the vote blue no matter who, the far leftists in their party, at the detriment of pretty much everybody else. They think that's going to help them for 2026. It's a cynical, despicable play. And, well, I guess time will tell if it works. Prioritizing your fringe minority voters over doing the right thing, over the country, over independence, taking all of these massive optics hits just so you can say, ooh, we fought, and hope to galvanize those people in the midterms. I don't know, I feel like you're playing to a minority at that point. I just don't see it working so well. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.